In this video, I'm going to provide an overview of how to manage an inquiry within Sonas. So from the activities section, I can see that an initial inquiry had been made through the online inquiry form. Now, do check out the activities and notifications core concept video to see how to manage notifications and activities, because you can set this up where a staff member has to acknowledge the receipt of this by verifying the activity, or you can set up different staff notifications that there is a new inquiry. We can also see this in the inbox. So we have the message from general inquiries here. I've already assigned this, but we can go back. And I've already assigned it to myself. And you're going to see that they've asked a question, are dogs permitted in the ceremony, and the general information. Now this information carries across to the accounts. So June 2027, we will see is in the general section under desired date or date desired. And then you also have the option of adding more fields to your form if you want to know approximate guests, budget, etc. But we did capture the event type of a wedding. So from the messages, I can see that they asked a question, but we did send the automatic reply. I don't have an I here yet, so it has not been read. Now at this point, since messages are tasks, definitely check out the core concept on the managing the inbox to understand that task list. I've assigned this task to myself. So when I go back to the inbox, I can see that this is pending my completion. So I can sort and down to my list, etc. Since they asked a question, I'm going to go ahead and get back to them sooner, even though they haven't looked at the automatic reply yet. I'm going to go ahead and reply to them. So I'm going to hit new message, and I'm going to send my template for my inquiry follow-up because that has a lot of information I want to include, but I'm going to see it before it's been sent. So this is an opportunity for me to add in some personal information, letting her know that she's being seen and heard. Yes, dogs are permitted and encouraged to attend. We still have dates available. In June 2027, do you have a specific day in mind? So I can ask some more questions, trying to encourage engagement. So I'm going to go ahead and send this. So that's been sent. That means I've completed this task. So I'm going to mark this as done. So it goes green. And then if I go to the inbox, it's going to fall off because it's not there anymore because I've completed it. And if I go to my list of inquiries, I can see that this inquiry is now right here. Now I want to add a label so I know where they are in my sales journey or my venue's sales journey. So I'm going to add 1 day initial email sent. So when I look at my inquiry list, I know that the 1 day's been sent. So I know in a couple days, if I haven't received a message back from her, I'll send my second follow-up email. And then you'll manage it per your sales journey. So it could be that every 3 days you send a follow-up 2 or 3 times. And then you're going to be going back and forth. So ideally, they're going to become engaged and you're naturally going to be going back and forth. You can pop off labels, and if it's just inquiry, you know that there is action or activity. There's ways you can use activities like no activity in 7 days or different activities to give you nudges to prompt you to send an additional email. So assuming that everything's going well and we're talking, going back and forth, at some point I'm going to invite her to book a viewing. So I can do that by either having an online form, here's a link, book a viewing, or I can just go ahead and, she wrote and said, hey, can I come see you next Wednesday at noon? And that works for me. So I can go to appointments and book her appointment in, show around, it's me. And, if she said if that's next Wednesday or not, but anyway, that's when it's going, pick the email to be sent. And now she's booked for a viewing. At that point, I'm going to go back to general and change my label to viewing booked. And this is a really important label because you know that they're on the calendar. You're going to see them in a few days. You don't need to worry about giving them additional inquiry follow-ups or whatnot. You also probably have your reminder emails set up, so they'll be getting reminder prompts as well. And you're going to move through. At the appointment date, you can then mark it as show as attended or no show. Check out the appointment management video on those actions. But just going through and having that conversation, having those templates ready, back and forth, utilizing the labels to walk through your sales journey. Now, when we go through the inquiry process, you're eventually going to get to a dead end. And there's going to be 3 places we can go. Exhaust, if they said no. If they did say no and you can find out why, reason not booked, and maybe where they did book, so competitor, you want to capture that information. If you don't have it, no worries. Just go ahead and exhaust it. So it's exhausted. Now, we're not going to delete this. We're keeping this information because she could be back. They might have thought they were going to book at the hotel down the street and it fell through at the last minute. Their contract had a lot more stipulations than they originally thought, or whatever the case may be. So they can come back, in which case you can turn it back to an inquiry. You can reactivate it. Okay. Now, another option would be to idle. Idle is really up for your definition. I look at it as they have not said yes and they have not said no. So maybe they've ghosted you. So we're going to put them on idle because we're not going to give up on them yet, but we're not going to send them a personal email every couple days anymore. We've sent 2 personal emails or 3 personal emails, and it's enough. So we're going to idle them because then we can utilize the marketing tab in Sonas and send bulk emails to every wedding on idle. So we have it on idle here. So now we can send a bulk email to them once a week, every other week, or invitations to our open house, or hey, come see us at this wedding fair next week, whatever the case may be. You do not need marketing consent to send inquiry related follow-ups, meaning they inquired about a wedding. So even if they didn't provide me with marketing consent, I can still send information on weddings. Of course, they can always unsubscribe, which you can take as a no, but you can send them that information. So some value add, staying on their radar until you hear a no, or they unsubscribe, or they come back to you asking questions and show engagement. So we'll go back to our list of inquiries here. We're now on idle, so I need to open that up. And here we go. And then the last place you can go to, and if they're on idle, you can return them back to inquiry. So we'll do that. They came back, they were just traveling for an extended period of time or whatever. And the next place you can go is date on hold. So for date on hold, you're going to select whatever that date is. Go to 2027, June, it's wide open. She wants Saturday the 5th. You can toggle on multi-day if you do multi-day. Choose the areas. This is exclusive use, so I'm going to leave all areas selected, and I'm going to submit. So now status has been updated to date on hold. I can pull off the viewing booked and hit save, so that pops off. And I'm going to go to messages, and I'm going to send my date on hold template. Oh, it's a follow after, but pretend that it's my date on hold template. And I'm going to go ahead and send that. Yes, that is. And it pulls through the dates. Okay, so you send the date on hold, and we're now date on hold. So at that point, we can move forward, or 7 days, which is the policy for my venue. I can follow up and say, hey, I have to release your date if you're not going to go forward or whatnot. But that's basically a quick overview of how you manage it from that initial inquiry through date on hold, utilizing the labels to manage your sub-statuses or where they are on your particular sales journey, managing appointments, so viewings or other sales meetings that you may need to set up, and managing their status. Are they still in inquiry? Are you moving them down to idle, or did they say no and you're putting them to exhaust? Or of course, they want to proceed and you can move forward with a date on hold.